Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I'm glad you're here with us today. And Pastor's going to be in here in just a minute. He's getting himself together. Hey, Deb, you're the first one here tonight. First one here. You must have been waiting on us. You must be hungry. And there's Vincent Kelly. Hey, Vincent. I love you, darling. And Keisha. Hey, Keisha. We hadn't seen you on here in a while. Wow. I may get hot on this. I have to roll up my sleeves now because we're going to get to work. Hello, Diana, John Greason, and Jill. How are you guys doing this afternoon? I'm going to just put your names up here let everybody know you're coming in. Yeah, there you are. There you are. And if you would, just take this time to like and share or subscribe if you're on YouTube. That would be great. That'll put us in the algorithm so people can find us quicker and we reach more people. So do us that favor if you would. And Pastor's coming in the house. And let's see, who else is here today? John and then Diana. Diana, I'm glad to see you with us, sweetheart. We had a great talk with you and Vincent. Hey, Dee Dee, thank you for lunch Sunday. Thank you, Dee Dee, for that. I appreciate it.
Lunch.
She sent us money to go to lunch on Sunday. And we did. We went to the Japanese restaurant, got us something. Because I didn't cook. Yeah. We did. You don't remember?
Mm.
You're not in the picture either. You're gonna have to get in. Hey, sissy and brother-in-law. I hope you guys had a great day. Our day's been kind of busy. Hey, Miss Fleeta. And hey, Joe. You and Fleeta must be in the same place because y'all came in right at the same time. Hey, Lori. I'm glad you're with us again, honey bun. Keisha said, hey, Mom, here. I've been here. You don't let us know you're here. You need to let us know you're here. We like to know when you're with us. Hello, Pat. How are you doing in your hospital stay? Are you still in the hospital? Let us know. We've been praying with you and believing God with you for your healing. We had a great testimony. I can't wait. I hope Linda comes in tonight. But Sinette, hello, darling. She said, hello, God night. Lovely to finish the day. All right, with us. Yes. And thank you so much, Dee Dee. Thank you. Well, we've been busy today, haven't we? Mm-hmm. And I've been busy today hauling him around. He went and got his Jeep, some things done to the Jeep, and I had to take him and then bring him back and all of this, and then that, and we had to make some errands. And what in the world?
Yeah.
You okay over there?
Mm-mm.
No? You getting together?
Yeah.
He didn't get a lot of rest, so I told him, I said, on the TV, just put a video on with rain and sit there and go to sleep. And that's what he did. So he's still waking up, I think. Can you how babies are when they first wake up?
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, and baby girl's over here waiting for her treats. She got a good report on yesterday. The vet said that all of her tests and things came back normal, which I suspected.
Only thing he said was wrong with her, she's still a dog.
Still a dog, still spoiled. So, yeah, today she didn't want to eat. So I had to jazz up her food to make her eat. But she's down here eating these treats. So she's good. You good? Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's do our affirmation and get ourselves ready. Vincent says, I saw a Jeep today. I think it was what Pastor has, and I've never seen his truck. Does he have a Gladiator? No, he has a Sahara Jeep Wrangler.
Mm-hmm. Rock red with
huge tires and big mufflers. And today it was so loud that he went and got it toned down so it wouldn't be so loud.
Can only hear it now.
Because it was so loud, it would vibrate. It would vibrate when you ride.
Can you talk? It was so loud. I'll get it fixed back a little bit in time to time.
Yeah. He's missing the noise. I'm not missing it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, I'm glad you're home. She said she's home from the hospital. Good, sweetheart.
That's
good. And I hope you have a good report as well. So yeah, so let's just go ahead and do our affirmations. But before we do, just go ahead and like and subscribe if you would, share if you want to do that as well. Again, it's important that you do this because when you do, it pushes us up further in the algorithm, so that when people look for spiritual talks or whatever, we show up faster and quicker, and it causes us to be able to reach more people. So the more you can hit that button right now, if you can hit that little like button, and or if you're on YouTube, you can subscribe. Do that right now, so you'll know whenever we're coming on. And if you're on Facebook and you know people who might want to hear what we have to say, share it. Okay. So anyway, we're going to jump in and let's see what I want to do here. Let's see what I want to do here. We take that off because we're going to have some great comments, I do believe, tonight. We always do. You guys give us such good comments. So let's center in. Let's take a deep breath in and let it out. Let all residual tension go with it. All preconceived ideas of what this session should be about or like. Let go of all of the urges to be free, the urge to be awake, the urge to quiet the mind, the urge to be healed, the urge to feel better. Let go of all urges as much as you can. And I want you to repeat after me, if you would. I am not this body, nor these thoughts, nor these feelings. I am consciousness itself. I am the background upon which all things appear. I am not any form, but I am the essence of all forms. I am the space between thoughts. This space, this place, is where I live. I am always here. No one can touch me. No one can enter where I am. Even my mind cannot enter here. I may forget who I am. I may forget where I am. But I cannot forget that I am. I am this knowing that knows that I am. And that feels so good, so good. And here comes my friend. One of my friends is Ollie. Ollie, hey Ollie, glad you're here with us tonight. Mm-hmm. And my other good friend, Linda Langdon. Linda sent us the most beautiful testimony. Linda, do you mind if I share it? Let me know quickly if I can share that with them. And before I share it, make sure I got it here. Yeah, there it is. On Thursday, Linda let us know while we were on live stream with Pastor Norman that, thank you, Linda. She said, go ahead, that she was headed to surgery for her eye. She had a hole in her eye. So of course, we just ministered with her and prayed with her and all of that. And she sent us the best report on last night. And it was so good because he was in the bed and I said, babe, you got to hear this. I ran upstairs with my phone and I showed it to him and I read it to him. So here it is. I'm going to read it to you guys. She says, hi, Toni. Last I spoke to you, I was on my way to Portland to have eye surgery. When I arrived, they did a lot more tests on my eyes and discovered that the hole in my eye had healed
Mm.
and I no longer required surgery. Oh, that's so
Mm, mm,
wonderful.
mm,
I can't really explain it. The eye surgeon did say that I must be very healthy to have had my eye healed like that.
mhm,
I'm not sure how or when the healing took place, only that I left there feeling thankful. Oh, me too. I'm so
mhm,
thankful for that. I am so, and I told him today in the car, I said, my ego wants to take a little bit of credit because we
mhm,
did pray for you.
mhm.
But we don't know when or who or how the healing took place. We're just grateful that it did.
That's good.
This is the second time in my life I have had an unexplained healing. My friends have always told me I always come out smelling like roses. When I look back at my life, I think I have to agree. About 5 years ago, when I had a very large mass on my ovary, and my doctor looked at me as if I were doomed to die. Even when she looked at me that way, I never felt worried. Once removed, it turned out to be benign. So I thought I would
Mhm,
share with you the good news and thank you, Clifton and Norman, for your prayers. The
mhm.
surgeon said I should just have my eyes checked every year, otherwise I was good to go. Wow.
That's
I am
great.
very thankful that my body has been a good, dependable vehicle of expression. And then she said she would see us tonight. Isn't that something? Isn't that
Mhm,
something? Somebody just say, thank you, Lord. Thank you,
mhm.
universe. Thank you for the healing and the wholeness that Linda is experiencing. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yes, it is excellent. Excellent. So we were just
Okay.
thrilled to get that information, Linda. Thank you so much for sharing that and letting us know about it. Uh, we always feel so much better when we know that our prayers work. And yeah, Vincent, it is a wonderful testimony.
Mhm.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Lord. All right, Linda. You go on, girl. You go on. You got something you want to say?
Yeah, it's just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
We are already what we received.
Mm,
Now, just meditate on that just a little bit now.
mm.
We are already what we receive from God,
We're already what we receive
and
from God.
what we receive from God is already everything that we believe.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
are the new birth experience with or without understanding
Mm-hmm.
salvation.
Okay.
Mm. We are something beyond what we read in the book and have been taught. We've been taught that we are what the books say, but we are beyond what the books say because
Yeah.
we, in our
Yeah.
eternal essence, existed before any
We
book,
were we were before the book. Yes.
before the book.
Yes. Not our bodies before the book, but
We
the
cannot.
essence that we are was before the book.
And see what is so unique about this is that the infinite self is stillness where you are, with or without recognition. Your eternalness can actually be everywhere at one time and never put a demand or attention to itself.
Mm-hmm. Now, we were listening just briefly to Audio Shante last night. He had a little quick excerpt from one of his videos, and he was talking about the feeling of disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we know that we're not disconnected from God and that there is no actual disconnection or separation. However, there's always the feeling of disconnect
Mm-hmm.
because when we're angry, we're disconnected from peace.
Mm.
Yeah. So in whatever state or of emotion that you're in, you're disconnected from that
Mm-hmm.
opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're anxious, you're disconnected from calm. So it's always some feeling of disconnect, but that feeling of disconnect is not evidence of separation.
Mm.
It never is evidence of separation. Vincent said, this week while showering, I saw the universe inside of me as God, as me in the universe.
You mean to tell me you take a shower? Did you call the plumber when you got through?
Did you stop up the drain?
You just plugged every drain up in California.
That's wonderful, Vincent.
We
So
all
the
have
universe,
had some problem with the drain because there's some dirt that we can't never get all washed out.
so what Vincent's saying is very key, because it just simply means you're becoming aware of your union, being aware of your unions. And some of us are aware of being aware.
That's right.
Yeah, aware of being aware. And then you can be aware of that unbreakable connection, even when there is a feeling of disconnect.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And so life situations, life circumstances, ups and downs. I always say life is like the monitor that shows your heartbeat, where it goes up, it goes down, up and down, up and down. That's life in the earth plane. Always up, down, up, down. So
yeah,
it's not going to be flat until you're dead.
Oh, could it be possible that we have mistaken ourselves? Is it possible that who we are cannot be reversed or changed? Once we realize who we are, it is finding out that we've always been that, if there was ever a day one, a day two, a day three, or a deja vu. Once it is found out that who we are, it cannot be reversed.
And is that finding out maybe just a glimpse, but as time goes on and you have the opportunity to discern the difference between who you are and the egoic mind, or the egoic identity, or even the identities of roles that we play, there is then a fixed awareness that takes place over time.
I took my Jeep to the shop today, and they had to work from the engine all the way back to the tailpipe, replacing catalytic converters. And while they were working on it, one of the cables, the number two sensor, exploded, or it burned up. And they were just getting ready to put it off the rack.
Yeah, you showed it to me, and
it burned up.
Yeah, it burned. Yeah.
And so I called somebody, and I was talking to him. I said, I'm believing God that the $650 is going to be taken care of. And the person that I told this, I didn't know would be the one that would do it. And I hung up. And I got the call that one of the number two sensors had burned up on it. Said it just exploded. Didn't know why. I found out why, because of the heat that comes from the headers, exhaust headers. And I went back and looked at them. So the person that I had finished talking to, I had to call him back. And when I told him what was going on, I said, "Where are you located?" He said, "I'm located in Kernersville." And he said,
which is where we live,
where we are. And he said, "I'll take care of that."
Guess who's online with you? Ooh. Hey, Niecy. That's Tracy. I call her Niecy because that's she's right there, honey.
Oh,
right there.
Okay.
Hey, Tracy. This is Pastor's niece.
That's my niece on
That's why I said Niecy. Her name's not Niecy, but we call her Tracy, which her name is
Tracy Lee. That's my baby girl.
Hey, honey bun.
Oh, it's so good to see your face.
Yeah, it's good to see you on there, sweetheart.
You look like somebody I know.
She does. And there's Leslie. Hey, Leslie.
Oh, yeah, that's a new Jersey. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Uh-huh.
right. Everybody got some new good energy coming across here.
Let's see. What did you mean when you said if we wanted to be recognized? What did you mean? Give us a full meaning there. We just got part of it.
Yeah, it's just broke up in
But
pieces.
go ahead. You were saying. Did you
Um,
forget?
everything that comes from inside of us, we are already that
Yes.
in the
Yes.
form of Christ.
Yes.
And when you
True.
take on the Christ, you take on every form in the universe.
Mhm.
I just found out that God takes on every color and every manifestation of himself at once in the universe. When we are at the, I tell you, when you try it, be in a restaurant and pay attention to everybody that come in and notice that the ones that are blessing their food. If you sit still long enough and go into that still place, whenever they talk to God, now watch this, this is strong now. Whenever they talk to God, you'll actually feel them talking to you.
Hmm.
But the you they talking to is the spirit you,
Mhm.
the Christ you,
Mhm.
the eternal you. And you can't get up and go over there and tell them that you heard what they said to God. Now, here's another one. There may be a time that you may be able to do that. You say, well, when will I know? That's the mystery of the eternal essence.
Yeah.
When the time is right, you may or may not, at such a time you think not, you will be able to do that. I think it's one of the most amazing things because after when I start finding out that God is all of us in at one time, and see,
Yeah. Yeah.
please listen to this. This thing you're talking about. Um, you got to be saved first. You got to have salvation first. I mean, it's all the got tos.
Yeah.
Now, when you wake up to your true identity, all of the got tos are you two. You are the you twos of God. You are the I am completeness, I am finished self of God. You are the jump that took place of what you're asking for coming from the inside of you. You are the jump. In other words, you jump out of everybody in the universe in order for that prayer to be answered.
Okay. Now, my mind's trying to wrap around that.
I
So,
know it.
can
I
you
know.
help all of us when you say
Jump.
yes? Can you help all of us with that?
Okay. When we need something, Christ is the sum total of all things.
Yes.
Anything that we need, do you know that when God created the universe, he pulled it from inside himself?
Oh, yeah, because there's no place else to pull it from.
That means that when we want something or desire something, if there is a need of a desire, because you see, you have to be careful about desire because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you are the fulfilling of all things in one place and all over the universe. That's the universe become one place. Okay.
Yes, and you're not really free from suffering until all desires, I won't say all desires, but until you are desireless. It's the desires that causes the discomfort. I desire this, and if I don't have it, then I'm uncomfortable. I suffer. So it's my wanting.
Mhm.
My wanting
Mhm.
causes my suffering.
The suffering of wanting is removed when you find out or something finds out that it is God, Christ the
Yes,
Lord.
yes. And that's why in the scriptures, Paul said, if I have come to whatever state I am in, I am content.
That's right. And the contentment is because he done all the struggle of trying to get something. You know what? Think about you. You live with a being or a person or anybody that whatever you think of, it comes from inside of you,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you think of.
Well, you said this on a Thursday session we had with Pastor Norman. You said whenever God wants to create anything, he births it outside of himself. He gives birth to
That's it. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Now,
and there's nothing that's existed that God didn't birth.
I saw on a movie, two people were talking, and they said, do you have a secretary or do you have somebody that to help you? And before the person standing in front of them could answer, it jumped out of them and was standing right beside him. Mm-hmm. And then when they got through with it,
that's a series you've been watching, right?
Yeah. And when they got through with it, that part of it jumped back into that same place. That
and saying it's like that.
Yeah, it's like your hand is up like this, and when you want another hand, it's there.
You know what I've come to realize too is that in all of the years that I have been what I call a person that prays, because all of us, we pray, but I've come to realize that prayers are not answered most of the time by the way my mind thinks it's going to be answered.
That's right.
It always is done differently. And then I've realized that every sequence of events that leads up to what is the manifestation of what I was desiring actually was something to catapult or acted as a catalyst to bring it about. Mm-hmm. And even when they were negative things, that's the thing that gets me, that what we've labeled things as negative or evil, when a lot of times they have been the very thing that catapulted us into that we were truly desiring in the first place.
Let me tell you something that happened the first of the week or weekend coming into this week. I usually come downstairs 3 or 4 in the morning, sometimes different times. And
he's a night owl. He's up and down all night.
And
he's making me like that.
And when I go in the closet. Now this time it was real. I mean, every time real, but this was unusual. Mm. So I went in there and I sat down.
And mind you, his closet is pitch black. Now it has a light in it, but he can turn it on and turn it off.
Once I get in there, it's dark.
And all you can see is maybe a little crack of light under the door.
And I like to go in there when you can't even see that.
Mm-hmm. And so he has his.
I really like to go in there when somebody.
When there's nobody moving around or anything.
Where I'm at. I come up missing.
It's very, very cocoonish.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and so it's in the center of the house, and it's dark, and it's just enough room for a chair and him to sit in.
That's right. And I carry with me when I go in there all of you guys that I've talked to, all that I've talked to for years, everybody that I've known from eternity all the way through. Some of the people that I hear from in letters, I have the letters in my box. Mm-hmm. And
he's kind of claimed it as his own. He doesn't like anybody to go in there.
No.
I sneak in there once in a while, but he doesn't like it.
I tried to get her to come in there and say I'm with me one time, and we got in trouble. So I just said, "Well, you stay out there."
That was years ago.
Yeah, it's still like that. You mess with me, you see if you don't find out.
This says wanting to be or wanting to see or expectation is the suffering. Yes, it is, Vincent. Yes.
What happened was
the separate self is an activity of resisting and seeking. That's what Linda said. Yes.
Well, when I was in there, I came to the time it was to come out. All of a sudden, I was in an experience where I couldn't find the doorknob.
And you weren't asleep, were you?
No, I wasn't asleep. But I slipped over into this altered consciousness inside of the room. And I start feeling like my eyes closed. I start feeling for the door and I couldn't find it. I mean, I really couldn't find it because I was in a split consciousness. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, I remember running my hand up the wall, and wherever I touched the wall, my hands became a light and it lit up. Mm. And as I moved it down, I took one hand away from the wall and the light went out. But when I touched it again, every time I touched the wall of the door, the light would come on inside my hand. Mm. And as the light came on inside of my hand, I kept feeling, I said, I think the knob is over here. but I couldn't. Every time I move away from a certain place, the light would go out, and I finally come down to a certain place, and the light came on, but it didn't come on to where until I got right there where the doorknob was. When it's time for me to come out, I hit that doorknob, and I use that knob to pull myself up out of the chair because I can't see where I am in there. And when I hit that knob, my hand lit up. That was the strangest.
You told me that your hand went through it. You couldn't.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Every time. That's right. It was. When I got ready to touch the knob at first, my hand went through it. And I kept doing like this. That's right. And I said, uh-oh. And I said, it thought came in. I said, I was getting ready to scream and holler for her to come downstairs, but the thought said, if you holler too loud, you'll wake her up, and you don't want to wake her up. So I said, oh my God, I'm stuck in this closet. How can I get out?
And the strange thing about it, you must have been out of your body then and thinking you were still in your body.
I was thinking I was
so
still in.
So that's why Paul said, whether in the body or out, I'm not sure.
Well, that's exactly what I experienced.
That's what he was saying.
And so I said, oh Lord, what am I going to do? I can't get out of this closet. And I said, I'm out of my body and I can't see the doorknob. So I made myself, I heard the thought said, calm down. It said, calm down. When I took a deep breath and calmed down, then all of a sudden I went back over to where I thought the knob was, and the light came on and I felt it. When I felt it, I instantly come out.
And I have to remind him what he said to me when it was fresh, because he's kind of forgotten some of it. But he said what he heard on the inside was slow down.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Slow down.
I remember that.
So
now.
He had to practice being mindful in order to touch the doorknob.
Well, here lately, if I'm walking real fast, I end up falling. I didn't see it until today. I set my water cup up on the wheel of the Jeep, and no sooner I set it there, I don't know what I did. It fell over, and my cup.
You're still a little foggy from COVID. Yeah. And I keep saying this to him, but I don't think he believes me. But he's a little foggy since COVID, having COVID, and it's kind of made his responses a little slower. And so being mindful is what got you out of that closet. So now to practice mindfulness in every area of life is what's going to help you to continue to function the way you want to function. And mindfulness is so wonderful. I remember watching Thich Nhat Hanh, who just recently crossed over not long ago, who was a Buddhist monk, precious man. He said it took him how many hours? It took him about an hour or 2 hours to drink 1 cup of tea, just being mindful, because he would actually be mindful of picking the cup up.
That's real slow.
And it's just being very mindful of picking the cup up, bringing it to your lips, mindful of how it feels when it touches your lips, mindful of how it feels when the liquid goes in. I mean, just being aware.
There's an animal
absolutely aware
in certain parts of the jungle called a sloth.
Yeah, that really slow animal.
Yeah, it's slow when it moves it.
It's very, very slow like animal. That. The sloth. Yeah, sloth.
What do you call
I think that's what you call it.
And
it's a weird
the
thing.
nature of God, the nature of the God self can and does not have to have move. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, wait. The nature of your true self can or cannot or do not have to have movement. Your eternal self does not have to have movement in order to travel from point A to point B. When I was over on the clouds and the highway in the sky,
it just registered.
Yeah,
yes, what you're saying.
I wanted to go to the end of this highway, and when I looked down at my light body, spirit body feet, my feet spoke to me in stillness and said, how far is it from here to the end? And he said 1,000 miles. The minute the 1,000 miles was indicated, I was there. So that's the reason why I said the nature of the God self can and does not have to go through movement in order to be. In other words, omnipotence and omnipresent does not move.
Yes. Yes.
It is, oh, here comes, it is movingless.
Well, you said the other day, moving without arrival,
Mm, mm,
traveling without
mm,
arrival. Yes.
mm,
Yes. That's you
mm,
said it. I remember
mm.
what you said. Yeah.
So I did what?
Said moving without arrival,
Wow.
traveling without arrival. It was something to that effect. You said. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Can somebody help me with that? Ooh wee.
Yeah.
That is really a ooh wee.
You said it. You don't. You're not. Are you admitting
Mm,
that you're not that smart?
mm-mm.
You're not this. Things come out of you when you relax and allow things to just allow the intuitive wisdom to arise in you and emerge. Things come out of you that you never dare thought you'd think about.
Wow.
You know you're not that smart. You know you can't be that smart.
Mm. The nature of your true identity does not have to have movement in order for it to say or travel somewhere
Mhm.
through an object, or to be or have something in order to be that thing. And to be having is to belong, and to belong has not anything to do with space, distance, and time.
Yes, I remember in our early Christian walk, we would hear people often say in their prayer, because we would have in the evangelistic Pentecostal type settings, charismatic type settings, they would have prayer lines.
Mm-hmm.
And so people would come up in the prayer line. A lot of times they didn't really want anything specific, but they were feeling disconnected and they wanted to have that sensing of being connected. So they would say, the minister would ask, well, what is it that you want God to do for you? They say, I just want to be closer to God. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
We would hear that a lot. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
be closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
And not realizing that God is so close that you can't see him.
Mm.
So close that you can't feel him. So close that you can't detect.
So
And
I would
so
say, I would say that we are the close to God self.
So I heard another spiritual teacher say this: if you try to make one step toward God, you just moved away from him.
That's right. That is
Because
really
God
something.
is just that close.
Well, now we're getting ready to see what gear grace operates in.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle used to be getting a load of slab on his ton-and-a-half truck coming out of the woods, and we get out on the highway, and his truck, I didn't know what it was, that had governors on it so that he couldn't go but so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But he would be mashing the gas, and one time he wasn't mashing it fast enough, so hard enough, I reached my foot over there and mashed it for him.
You were bad.
He said,
You
quit
were
that.
bad.
So I'm telling you, this kind of stuff is so potent.
Vincent says you can instantaneously travel across a dimension without leaving that dimension.
Without leaving the place of standing.
Yes. And Linda says arriving without traveling. Was that it? Yeah, that's it. Arriving without traveling, or something to that effect.
We are the
yes.
We are the arrival.
Yes.
We are the expectancy. We are the arrival and have already arrived at this place, and yet there does not have to be any movement for this to take place.
And see, the thing that I know happens to all of us, because it happens to me, and I know I'm not that different, is that we know this. I said this to Laverne when her mom passed, and of course we were talking to her when it had just happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, sometimes you feel alone, even though you know better.
Mm-hmm.
You know better,
Mm-hmm.
but you feel it anyway. You feel the disconnect anyway, even when you know better.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that every last one of us have had moments of feeling disconnect, even though we know better.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to reiterate that feeling of disconnect is not evidence of a true separation.
Do you know that you do not have to confess that Jesus Christ is Lord for the sake of your mind and anybody else's mind,
right.
because you have always been the tangible manifestation of God without a confession.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So the mechanical side of confessing and all that kind of stuff,
A lot of times
it's called rest.
yeah, and a lot of times we confess or we affirm trying to make that be true. When in fact, the affirmations and affirming should be a declaration of a statement of truth that we already recognize and realize.
We got this thing that what we say and confess will come to pass. What if I told you that before you confess, or before that needed to be confessed on the mechanical redundant identity, what if I told you that if you couldn't talk at all, you would still be the substance of a thing hoped for and the evidence of things not seen?
Yes, yes. And I wanted to say something to what Vincent wrote, which is most of us, that's the concept that most of us have, is that Jesus was able to heal people because he could move across space and time. But there was no movement.
Yep.
Space and time
Was
does
that
not
it? Yep.
ever, doesn't
Yep.
even exist in that dimension. If I dare I say fifth dimension, sixth, seventh, eighth dimension, whichever number it is, the time, there is no time, there is no space. That's why you hear people who've had near-death experiences, they may have only been dead for say 30 minutes or an hour, but they felt like they've been spending days in heaven or in that spiritual world. And so there is no time and space. And
That's
in
right.
fact, the past, present, and future are all in one space and all happening at the same time. There is a past you, a present you, and a future you that is right now. And that's why whatever you are realizing now will correct anything in your past.
It's kind of like saying, let's work at this some more. Let's confess, and work at this some more. But I'm telling you, your days of laboring, Sister Leslie, the days of work is over. Because when he said, is there not a rest to the people of God? Yes, it is. But the reason why the statement is somewhat asked there, or statement made, is there not a rest to the people of God? You are saying it, and at the same time, you are already the rest of God.
Yes.
Now, what is the rest of you? The rest of you is sitting in the chair. The rest of you is looking at this picture of yourself.
Oh, like we were watching Adi Ashanti, and he was mentioning the fact that a lot of times it just requires us to be still. And he said, can you at this moment just be still?
When you seek God.
Wait. Okay, this is what he did. He said, can you at this moment just be still? Can you be still for a little longer? Maybe a little bit longer. And that's the way you be still.
I never stopped.
You never stopped?
When you said that, I just kept right on.
What was going? Because you didn't go as far as I could see.
No, it didn't go away. It was awareness.
But what was going?
I don't know, but it showed.
What was moving?
It felt good.
It did. Let's do it again. Can we just be still?
Be still.
Okay, can you be still just a little bit longer?
Well, it's going to be 12 o'clock now.
Just a little bit longer?
Go ahead.
Have you noticed that the mind didn't mess with you?
Well, that's a good one.
It was it's very good, very good, be still. And so when that scripture says, "Be still and know, Leslie, that I am God."
Leslie, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is really something, girl. You are the voice of God speaking all over the universe. When somebody hears the Lord speak or hear the eternal self say something inside,
They're really hearing.
I've just realized every time your spirit of God's self say something, he does not say it with a mouth.
Okay.
So a lot of us seem to think,
Okay, break that down.
okay, a lot of people think that when it says in the book, everything was created by the word of his power and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, and he spoke the world into existence.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what language was it?
It wasn't a language at all.
None at all.
Mm-mm.
Now, stillness speaks.
Stillness does speak.
Mm-hmm.
It just spoke.
I just did.
It just spoke.
And it's speaking now.
Yes, yes.
Just the voice of God without the word spelled VOICE is talking.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to show something. Let's see if I can bring that up. All right. In the second part of this, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but the first, mm-hmm. not the first part, but the second part, where it says the seeking smothers out what can clearly be seen.
Mm-hmm.
The wanting smothers out the having.
Mm-hmm.
The effort to be calm smothers out the stillness.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, recognizing the seer and the seeing is all in one place.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's no distance between the hearer. Okay, here it is. Hearing without ears, seeing without eyes, speaking without mouth,
mm-hmm.
moving without walking,
yes.
or with legs, without legs.
Traveling without moving.
Traveling without movement.
Mm-hmm.
You are the absolute, pure, mystical side of God.
Yes. Linda says, I am dimensionless. And I don't, not only am I dimensionless, I am multidimensional.
We are what you have already received.
Yeah.
You receive the answer before it is presented.
Yes.
You have forgiven everything before it ever takes place as an offense. Now,
the mind hasn't, but you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're already what you were revealed to.
Mm-hmm.
You revealed yourself to yourself, and now you're losing and finding that something in this area of your true identity has never been lost.
Mm-hmm. Type this in. I've never been lost and I am okay.
That's right.
Type that in. I have never been lost and I am okay.
You saw something about us that make the idea come up that if I could get what I wanted, I would be happy.
Yes.
I want to have God to know that what he knows, I'm telling you, I know what he is.
Yes.
God, listen to this. I'm going to get you down. I found out that God can no longer hide.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because every time he tries to hide, I wake up finding that I'm hiding from myself.
That's it. God never hides. We've hidden from him and from ourselves. That's why we hate solitary confinement.
Mm-hmm.
But the solitary confinement for the one who's awake would be a blessing.
You are with or without complete perfection. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I remember years ago, and again, this was in my early Christian days,
you had an early one.
Early Jesus in me days. I remember I used to, when you would go to work, he would work second shift. So when he'd go to work, I'd have the house all to myself, and I would do a lot of what they called travail and intercessory prayer. I would do a bunch of that. And so I remember that with one particular night, I'd done some intercessory prayer for maybe 2-3 hours. And I was in that place where I was just a snotty, crying mess. And I remember hearing Spirit say to me, the Holy Spirit said to me, he said, "You are my blemished lamb."
Mm.
And I always felt like we had to be perfect before God, but he accepted me with all of my crazy messiness and loved it and loved it.
Give yourself the right to listen to the pure word of God
Yes.
without noise.
Yes.
Give yourself the right.
Also, when you hear the voice of God, this is where I had to accept that when I hear God's spirit speaking to me, that it was in actuality, it was my higher self speaking to my mind, which was my lower egoic identity.
Give yourself the right to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself the right to be
Yeah.
in the now absolutely okay.
Yes.
Give yourself the right to be afraid in the physical mind side without disturbing any part of your eternal
that's
self.
good. That's good. That's good.
Give yourself the
Good.
right.
Good. Yes.
Give yourself the right to be your mother's daughter or your mother's son.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Give yourself the right to be or not to be and still be complete.
Yes.
Happy.
Yes.
Give yourself the right to be excited. Give yourself the right to sit in one place and see God everywhere. Give yourself the right. You know, there's a claim that's going on with me and some other things about the some things that I ordered from eBay, and they're waiting now to make a decision on who is going to be the one to receive the, uh, the abundance of the finances that was invested in this, and I made up. I decided to give myself the right to win it
or to lose it.
Mm-hmm. $3,700. I give myself the right, and somewhere tomorrow I would take the package to the UPS and ship it back to the guy. But the guy said no returns. He gonna get a return because when I see this thing all the way through, it's going to be okay. I give myself the right to be okay. I give myself the right to hear anything that would come to me, good or bad. I give myself the right to not to be disturbed by good or bad.
Exactly.
Hot dog, I like that.
James says, give yourself the right to be happy and okay. And happiness is your nature, so give yourself the right to be happy. And give yourself the right to be sad and still know you're okay. That's the thing. Give yourself the right to be sad or mad and still be okay.
Give yourself the right to love everybody that don't like you.
Woo.
Give yourself the right to be loved in spite of the hate that some have toward you. Give yourself the right to relinquish all disturbance that gives off the idea that you miss God. Give yourself the right to miss or not miss God because you are now ready to walk in maturity.
I just realized that when I don't like a person, I don't like them, or I like what they do, it's because our conditionings are clashing. Our conditionings are clashing, and our preferences in our conditional programming says they're not like me, and I want them to be like me.
Give yourself the
Give yourself the right
to not be everything that people want you to be, and yet you give yourself the right to look at them and still be happy.
And give yourself the right. Give other people the right.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Give them the right to be what they are and be okay.
Amen, Miss Pearl.
Thank you, Jill, for putting that
Sister
up.
Sister Austin, you know that's the truth. Brother Dixon, you know it. Jorikane.
I know Cynthia doesn't have a sensitivity to her name anymore. She used to,
She did.
but she's grown past that, thank God.
Give yourself the right to not get upset because somebody mispronounced your name.
Oh Lord, my name was mispronounced all the way through school.
Ooh.
I was Antoinette, Annette, Antoinette, Antoinette, and my real name is Antoinette. But I never said, I never told anybody my name was Antoinette because it felt like I was trying to be proper.
I ain't never had no problem with it. I don't call you.
You don't call me that.
Mm-mm. I just talk to you.
Most of the time, we call each other baby.
Well, I was raised up there. You get up at my house.
Baby.
Hey, you get at my house. You don't say good evening, hello, good dog, good afternoon, hey cat. Or
you
nothing.
Mean the
where
house
we
you
live?
grew up in?
Yes. Well, I grew up. They didn't say nothing. Just get up and going out the door. Don't say nothing.
In our house, Daddy wouldn't let us do that. He'd say to us, we got up and didn't say good morning. He said, "Did I sleep with you last night?"
Oh.
Yeah, he wouldn't let us get away with that.
Linda, I like that what you said. Happiness is peace in motion.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Sissy said she's okay being Joe Renee. She used to hate the word Joe. She used to hate it. Now she's cool. She's cool. See, I call myself Tony. That's a male name most of the times. So, hey.
Give yourself the right.
We've grown up.
Hey, give yourself the right to cook something that don't taste good.
Linda says happiness is peace in motion. Peace is happiness at rest. You know what I found too, Linda? I'm most happy and at peace when I'm not looking for something outside myself or outside as a outside thing or event or anything to happen to make me that way. I was just okay.
Lord have mercy. Now that we have arrived to the no moving self, it's time for us to have a jubilee.
Yeah.
A moment of stillness, of joy.
I like that. Be still. Oh, that felt good, didn't it?
That was good.
Yeah. Let's be still 1 minute.
Let's be still for okay.
Yeah, just for a moment. Let's be still again. Oh, that felt good.
Well, that felt good, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes,
have you ever been watching television and just turn the thing completely off?
Yeah.
And the room just goes still?
Have you? And you know what? The quietest, the best stillness was when all the power went out the last time.
Ooh.
And I sat there and there was nothing to stimulate. There were no sounds in the house. And it was wonderful, wonderful. Anywho, well, we have had a great talk tonight. You guys have had some wonderful comments. We are so happy that you spent some time with us.
Yes.
And
I thank you for the gifts and the presence of God. That man today went into that muffler place and paid
that bill for you. That's wonderful. Sure yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the $3,000 settlement to take place in favor of the best.
But if it doesn't,
I give myself the right to be happy in spite of anything that take place.
Yes. Linda says, I love the name Joe Renee. I do too. Your mom gave you both. And actually, Linda, our mama didn't even name us. It was my aunt, my great aunt, actually, who had a thing for French names. So my dad's name was Anthony. So she figured Antoinette was the closest thing to Anthony. And then Renee came along as the baby and she named her Jo Renee. Not Joe, but Jo Renee. So she had a thing for French names and she was an old school teacher. And that's how we all got those names. On the other hand, my two brothers, they didn't have French names. My oldest brother was named after my dad, was Anthony Gerard Mitchell. And then my baby brother was named Gary Malcolm, which is absolutely not black names at all. But the funny part about it was my dad's mom and daddy, my grandparents, they did not pronounce his name correctly. They did not call him Anthony Gerard. They called him Anthony Gerard.
That's right.
Oh, my Lord.
We are happy that we can give you guys the right to be happy beyond the imagination. Thank you.
Good night, you guys. Good night, Tracy.
Be affirming with us that the $3,000 is in our favor. Or if it's not, I give ourselves the right to be happy. And you too. Thank you.
All right, Sadie. Thank you, sweetheart.
Okay.
She says to pray for her. She's
Okay.
struggling over her mom's passing. I understand, darling.
Who's sending that?
Sadie Lotta.
Oh,
she says that she's struggling over her mom's passing in 2020.
Yeah. You know what? Your mother has not really gone anywhere. What is going on is your mind and your physical, emotional self, your emotional body is what's holding on to this. Yeah. I wish sometime we could come on our classes and spend the whole time talking about these things of what really happens when we go to sleep at night and leave our bodies and what we call death. So that means there's really actually no such thing as death except for through the physical and the mind. Yeah. We'll talk about it as we go, but Adrian,
if you'll hang in there with us, Sadie, Tracy, and I'm pretty sure that you will find a place of rest inside of what we're saying. If you continue to listen, you will be able to transcend the feeling of sadness, the feeling of aloneness. If you continue hanging there with us, and we are praying with you, sweetheart. What
is being attached to this? I heard somebody say, it's amazing how much we love our physical bodies.
Listen, attachments. Baby girl's taught me something else. Baby girl, who is our dog. She's down here resting right now, thank goodness.
She's been having a time.
She has this round disc like a toy. It's like a wheel, a little rubber wheel that she chases when she goes outside, and it's like a frisbee almost. She's got more than one, but her favorite one, which she always grabs to go out with, it's now deteriorating.
Yeah, so it's not good for her to have.
Right, so we had to take it away from her for fear that she would eat part of it, chew it up. And so she has been pining over that toy because it was an attachment. Even the dog was attached. So she felt that thing was very important to her. And so she has been really pining for it all day, hasn't she?
That's right.
All day and looking for it and all that stuff. So give yourself the right.
Sadie, give yourself the right to miss your mother and yet give yourself the right to remain happy. Now, your mother is watching you now. She can do more to help you now than she could when she was in her body.
And I'm sure she would not want you to go into a place of depression or sadness, but to go on living and live your life in a way that would please her.
You will see her again many times in your sleep at night, and she'll communicate with you. And I guarantee you that when your mother was with you, standing beside you during the time of the eulogy, if there was a eulogy, she was there trying to tell everybody in the family that she's not dead. She's okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Give yourself the right to let go of this and see yourself completely fulfilled. Okay? We thank you so much for coming to Earth and letting us meet each other again.
Yes.
Thank you for the gifts.
Yes. And we will see you again on Thursday. If nothing happens, we'll be back at 12:30 with Pastor Norman.
Sure will.
For impromptu conversation. We don't ever know what we're going to talk about.
That's the truth.
But it's always good. Always good. And that's where Linda was there, and she got healed from her. I don't know if it came from us. I don't know if it came from the doctor. I don't know where it came from, but I'm just grateful that she got that.
Thank you so much. Okay.
So if you can tune into us, it will be wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Linda. We live only once, and that's forever. Yes. Bye, guys. We'll see you on Sunday as well at 10. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.